All right. And you real quick, Royce. Yeah.
Hmm?
I say you got a lot of stuff in the background. It's like hearing stuff in the background.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. Um,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are live. So I'm just
Okay.
I'll just mute your mic and I just bring you in.
All right.
All right. Well, let's start over. Yeah. This is zero, and today I have Rice. I mean, she does her channel is Rice Abstract Art. She's an abstract artist. So I'll let Rice introduce herself, and we're gonna talk art today.
Rice.
Okay. You all right?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Rice, and yeah, I do abstract art on the side. I've been doing it for a long time, way before I came on YouTube. Um, I have a website for it too. It's riceaka.com. Uh, because I'm pregnant, I haven't really been doing a lot because I'm pregnant. um, and I specialize in abstract art, which means everything is abstract. It's not set in stone. I do portraits, um, which is easy for me to do. But again, that's pretty much it. If you go to my website, you can see that I have different stuff on there. Um, whatever the case may be. So yeah, that's me, the one and
Okay.
only.
Okay. So you say abstract art is different from other types of art.
Yeah,
What is
so
that
you
difference?
got what's the difference?
Yeah. Like what makes it stand out apart from the other types of art?
Abstract art stands out um, from other art because you can do more and you can make more money doing it. Um, for an example, um, you have contemporary art, modern art. There's different genres of art. So basically, the difference is that it's just a different styles and art. Usually, artists we like to put our own twist on things. So for me, like with abstract art, if I draw or paint something because I don't like my paintings to look, you know, like everybody else's, I tend to like put my own twist on it. Um, so yeah, so that's the difference pretty much. It's different styles. It's different styles, different genres, and abstract art is basically like if, for an example, if I decided to do a portrait, I could turn it a portrait into something abstract if I wanted to. So it's not art is really not set in stone. It just really depends on what what you want to do at that particular moment. That's why I like abstract art because it's not one way. Like, oh, I'm a paint like this. It's just the same thing over and over again. I see a lot of people just doing the same thing over and over again, which is boring. But that's my opinion, and that's pretty much the difference, basically. I remember, like, if you come to the DIA here, which is the museum here, I have a
Yeah.
painting there. But it's like when you enter the front entrance, you will see a big painting on the wall, which represents the Renaissance period. Um, and it's abstract though. It's like it's a lot of different themes inside of one big picture that's abstract. So it's portraits on there, but it's also abstract at the same time. So yeah,
Okay. Okay. So how long have you been painting? How long have you been a painter or artist? And
um, I would say since I've been about 9 or 10 years old. So,
okay. Okay. So what inspired you to to paint?
well, um, my mom, one day I was going in the attic and I found a lot of, you know, historical sculptures and paintings, and I was wondering who did it. So I took it to my mom, and I was like, "Who did this?" She was like, "Oh, I did that. Where you find that at?" I was like, in the attic or whatever." And she was like, "Yeah, I did those. You like it?" And I was like, "Uh-huh." And so she let me look through it or whatever. And so, and I was about what, 7, 8 at that time. So I started looking through it and just practicing. But then when I turned about 9 or 10, they started putting me. My parents started putting me in different art programs or whatever. So I would say my mom is the reason why I got into art um, because she, because of the work that I saw her do. So I would say that.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking, what art programs did you enroll in as a child?
I was
That
in the
it,
art,
okay, go ahead.
yeah, I was in an art program called the. Uh, I was in two. I was in an art program called the Bezalel Art Project and Inside Out Literary. Two different art programs, and then also when I got in high school, um, I went to a college during the summertime. Like after school gets out, you could go to like different programs. So I decided to go to CCS, which is a College for Creative Studies. They had like different art programs for high school students that you can go through and pass and get like a certificate for. And so yeah, those are the different ones that I was in.
Okay, so I know like lot of people are lot of artists have a lot of time struggling to get their art out. Like how long did it take you until you were able to really make money off your art, or have you got to that point yet?
I really, to be honest with you, when I first started, I wasn't looking to make money off of my art. It's just something I like to do. But I would say I was making money on my art when I was in high school because the art programs that me and my cousin was enrolled in, they had art events, and me and her, every time they had an event, we would attend and have our art and stuff in it. And me and her, we made our first book together. We published it when we were in high school, and we have our art in that particular book. It's just a local book for like the city of Michigan or Detroit, but it's published under Inside Out, one of the art programs that I was in, that we was in, and it didn't take long because of the program we were in. It's like a company that created this program for students like us. So we was making money, and when we was in high school, and we done a lot of stuff in the community, like murals on different buildings downtown. So it didn't really take that long, but I mean, usually, like for me, I really wasn't looking to get paid off of it anyway, but because it because it is a skill and a talent, I mean, why not? Because you put in your time into it and your hard work into it. So yeah, it didn't take that long for me.
Okay, so I know that some artists are influenced by historical artists. Were you influenced? Were there any artists from history that you're particularly influenced by?
Yes. Um. So when I was growing up and I was in those art programs I was just telling you about, um, my mentor at the time, she has a lot of degrees in art and she teaches art. So during the time, she told me that she wanted me to study Picasso, and Picasso is a Spanish painter, and he does abstract art. And she wanted me to study his work. So luckily, my mom had many books of on his work in the attic. Our attic was like a library, so it was like different books about him, um, and and a couple of other artists. But I particularly was drawn to him because I felt like that's where my work lied pretty much. And like I said, he's a Picasso. When I hear people talk down about him, I'd be like, you're ignorant because you don't really know what you're talking about. This is somebody that's like an OG in this industry, whether he's not black or whatever, that doesn't matter. This is art. Art has no color to it. And Picasso is somebody that's highly recognized, especially here in Detroit, in Michigan, because of all the work that he's done and that he has put in to, his craft or whatever. And like I said, he's a Spanish painter, and if you guys want, you can look him up. And I have some info about him on my website. I actually talked about one of the paintings he did. Is if you go on my website, you can check it out. You can see it. But but yeah, he's one of the people that I've always admired his work. And the reason why is because it's abstract, it's historical, it's not like other people's other people's work. Like I don't like what is that painting with Mona Lisa? I don't really I like his sculptures. I don't really like that particular painting, but because that painting um, is so historical, a lot of people it has put a lot of meaning behind it, and I feel like it may be historical because in the museum here at the DIA, if you look at the painting, if you go left or right, you can see the eyes following you, left or right. It's like weird and creepy. So that may be why that painting is so historical. But I like um, the sculptures that that particular artist did. And I think that, not I think, I actually, if I could remember, I started doing ceramics and sculpturing when I was in the ninth grade. So I started drawing way before then, when I was like 7, 8, 9, 10. But I started doing ceramics and other things when I was about 14. Um, and so I just don't do just one thing. I like to do. I do abstract art, but I also do sculpting and ceramics and things like that. But yeah, Picasso is one of the artists that I like. I love his work. The Weeping Woman. I believe that's what it's called. Hopefully that is what it's called, because right now my mind is all over the place. My mom is moving today, so I'm about to go help her in a minute. They move into a new house. Um, but but yeah, Picasso is an OG in the game. Excuse me, another artist that I like that's historical is Frida. Her name is Frida. Her work is also abstract. Um, I really like a lot of the historical artists, Michelangelo, um, Jean Basquiat. You know, he was a black graffiti artist, but his work was abstract. Um, Also, speaking of Jean Basquiat, hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right. His mentor was Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol helped him get into the industry, and when he really took a it really took a toll on him when Andy Warhol passed away. Andy Warhol was known in the industry, in the entertainment industry, for his capability of putting a lot of different photographs together of different things, like culture shocking things, to display like a certain type of message to the public. So he took Jean Basquiat into his wing, under his wing, and helped him also, because he was homeless, you know. So he really, Andy Warhol really helped him out a lot, and that's why I really like about their particular story, because it's a lot of people. Uh, Man, how can I say this? It's a lot of people in this industry that are artists, or that do have the capabilities to help other people, but they envy. You know, they envy. They don't like it. They hate. And I'm like, really, to be honest with you, a real educator and a real artist, they don't move in those type of ways. You know, they don't really move like they move in a leadership type of way, to where they're like willing to lend out and help. But see, me, I'm at the point where I already know people that's deep into this industry that has already gave me the tools that I need, to, if I choose to take it that way, that direction. I already created my first book. It's on my website. So if I want to create another book, I know how to do it by myself. Like, you know what I mean? Um, so it's just a lot of different people. I love a lot of different artists' work, but like I said, Picasso is just my number one. That's my number one go to right there. Um, Frida, with her story, um, she I would compare her work kind of to Picasso too. She has one painting of she did a lot of paintings of herself. Uh, in an abstract, like it would be portrait style, but it would be abstract. And I admire her because she would get sick, you know, and she would still, you know, do her work. A lot of times when people get sick, they're like, I'm not doing this. Like, for an example, me, I'm pregnant. I'm like, I can't do it. Like, I can't do it. And it's like, I admire her for that, because she like kept going. You know, she ain't let anything stop her from uh, working and doing her craft. So, so yeah,
Oh yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. I'm saying. I'm saying. I know you talking about you, so I'm like, I was letting you get what you say out. But you say you did sculpting. Like, what type of sculptures did you do, or were they kind of like like your painting is abstract? I don't know if there's such thing as abstract sculpting. Like,
The sculptures that I've done some piano hands. Now it's on my website if y'all go look. I've done some piano hands. Where so here's the process with like sculpting and ceramics. So with ceramics, it sees the difference. Ceramics and sculpting aren't really that different. The difference is the tools you use and like what style you're using to create. Sculpting is um, more dynamic than ceramics because with ceramics, like I created the piano hands, I made different things. I made a couple of vases, a football cup, different dishes. I made a cigarette tray for a couple of family members. So with ceramics, it's a certain process you have to do to get the results you want to get. So first of all, what I did to get those piano hands, I got my clay. I put some newspaper down so that I wouldn't get my area messy. I got some water. I got my tools, and we got different art stores here you can go to get these items as well. I got the particular tools I needed to carve the design I wanted, and so I made the hands first, and I wrapped them in plastic so it wouldn't get hard. I wrapped them in plastic, and I kept them moist with water so that it wouldn't dry out quick. Then I carved the piano keys and the base for it. Once I did that, I took my hands out the bag and then I placed the hands on top of it, and then I set it on in a particular area to dry. Once it dried, I picked my colors out for it, and then you know it depends on what colors you wanted to use. But for this, I wanted to use white and black. Sometimes the colors may not come out the way you want them to. So you might have a particular color in mind, but it may come out a different color because of the kiln, the firing kiln that fires it. For in glazing, you have to glaze it for final result. So after I colored it, I went to the next process, which is like I said, which is glazing and putting it in the kiln. After that, it sits out and finish setting. It has to set. Once that is finished, it's pretty much complete. So it could take for your project, depending on how many you're doing, like painting. Like if I get 10 orders, it could take a few months for you to get your what you ordered because you don't know if other people ordered before you. But with ceramics, it could take longer because if I got 20 people that ordered piano hands, I have to, and I'm doing it by myself, then I have to make sure everything is a certain way so that everybody can get what they, ordered or whatever. Um, so like the process could be tedious for especially if you're doing it by yourself and you got like 20, 30 orders for it. So like for an example, if you get 20 orders today, you're gonna have to get 20 to 30 things of clay. You're gonna have to use a lot of water, newspaper. You're gonna have to get the utensils for this. So so logically, realistically, you would do one by one. So everybody not gonna get that order at the same time because you can't do all of those things at the same time. It's just unrealistic, and no, it's just not gonna happen. So, like I told you, the process, how the process goes, you're gonna do that one by one. So I would say the whole process could take up to 3 to 4 weeks to complete. The drying for ceramics, for sculpting is actually longer, but for ceramics, the drying process. So let's say I created my hands, the piano keys, and the bass. Um, that could take a day, like a day to do. If you have to work. So let's say I have to work. If I get off work, I go do this. That can take me 4 to 6 hours just to carve the hands, the keys, and the base. Then I have to let it dry. They could take up to a week. Then after that, I have to get the colors and paint everything. And you can't just paint it one time. You have to paint it over and over again, probably up to 10 times to get the color to be right. That's gonna take a week. You gotta let that dry. That's gonna take a week. Then you gotta glaze it and put it in the kiln. That's gonna take another week or two. You see what I'm saying? So people be thinking like, oh, this is gonna take. No, because I'm doing it by myself. It's not a factory. So yeah, that's the process for that. Now with sculpting, because let's say I sculpted my face or your face or something like that, that's gonna be a longer process for the simple fact that it's similar to ceramics if you're using color, but if you sculpt in a person's face, just think about how thick that clay is and how long it's gonna take to dry. That's gonna take a long time to dry. Like it's not like you're carving the pieces. It's like you got your clay, you laid it down, you got it on your tools, and now you got to carve it and put things a certain way, and you got to let that thick clay dry up. That's gonna take a while. So yeah, yep.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of work for some sculptures. I didn't realize like how much time it takes to make one of those.
Oh yeah, it takes time. Even with paintings, like depending on what paint you use. Like if you use oil, that's why I don't like using oil because of the chemical. Like it's so strong. The chemicals are so strong. It's ridiculous. That's why I don't like using oil because it takes a minute. It takes longer to dry than acrylic. Acrylic, you can. It doesn't take that long to dry, but with oil, it does. It depends on what it is. Like I said, if you're doing this by yourself, it depends on how many orders you got too. So 10 people can order a painting and can order from you. So if you're doing it by yourself, you don't have any help, then you know. But yeah, that's why I like ceramics and sculpting. It's rewarding. I like the process. Like I like building. I remember I built speaking of building, I built a coffee table and I carved my name into it. And it's really cute.
Hmm.
Like it's nice. I use see that's what art you could do all types of stuff. I went to Lowe's and I got a pink and black and beige tile and I broke the tile up and I started making my name on the table and I bought the table from this like uh Goodwill shop and I refurbished it by myself. I used certain tools to refurbish it and I painted over it and everything. And I got some tile from Lowe's, pink, black, and white. Then I got some glazing for it in plastic because when you pour the glaze on top to finish it, it's gonna some of it may fall off. So you gotta probably put tape around the edges so that the glaze won't fall off. But yeah, I do all types of stuff. I made a birdhouse by scratch. I did all types of crazy stuff with my art. But you know, as soon as I come to YouTube, oh you just started doing this. I'm like, bruh, I've been bringing this into YouTube because I know ain't don't nobody really do this stuff over here. You know, so it's, why bring it over here and don't nobody really do it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah, yeah. Usually when I think of sculpture, I'm thinking of somebody with a chisel just chipping away at a piece of at a lump of rock or something like that.
I mean, that's so all right. So with sculpting, my mom made some mermaids, right? So when I was watching her make it, she got her clay, she got her tools, she sculpted the design she wanted for her mermaids. Um, she had to let it dry because it was so thick. Um, she had to let it dry. When it dried, she did go over and recarve just to make sure it's what she wanted. So it depends on your technique and it depends on what you want to do. So I do remember her going over and chiseling away just to get the results, even after it dried, just to get certain type of results she wanted, and she smoothed it out. I did see her do that, um, and so yeah, so that's pretty much what got me into art is just watching her do a lot of different stuff.
Okay, speaking of techniques, I mean, I'm sure you explain like your process and all that, but are there like how many different techniques are there for sculpting?
Um, it depends on how far advanced you are. So if you're just learning how to do it, then you're gonna do the basic stuff, like you're gonna go to the table slab to learn how to, because first they teach you how to slap the clay. You know what I mean? There's a certain way you have to slap the clay down. Um, so if you're a beginner, then it's only certain things you're gonna know. Um, just like the welding tool, like when professionals are using the welding tool to make their cups and their plates, that's like advanced. But if you're a beginner, you're going to just use your hands because that welding tool is very strong. So you have to have a lot of strength to sit there, put your clay on the welding tool that spins, and water and keep shaping the way that you want it to. So it depends on how far advanced you are. The more, so if you're a beginner, they're just going to teach you how to slap the slap the clay down, what tool to use to put your clay on, and they're going to ask you, hey, what are you looking to make? If you say a face, they're going to tell you tools to make to um, what tools to use to put your clay on to create your face. If you go to the next level, then they start teaching you other techniques, like um, what other tools you can use, and they're going to teach you the different techniques you can use to, as far as like your hand or your tools. If you're um, if you're advanced, then you pretty much, if you're advanced, you know how to do a lot of different things. It's really no certain way. Oh, let me do it this way because I don't know what I'm doing. No, if you're advanced, you're going to be like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it like this. So if you're advanced, you can use the cutting table. You can use different chisels. You can use matter of fact, at Michael's is an art store by where I live at. They have different tools for sculpting and ceramics. They have like a knife tool, a carving tool, a shaping tool. There are different tools you can use. So, and some people so advanced they don't even use those tools. They use like forks, not real forks, spoons. They use stuff that I would be looking at them like, why are you using that when you got this tool thing? Well, I don't use that. I'm advanced or whatever. And I'd be like, excuse me. Shit. So yeah,
I mean, have you, okay, speaking of like, more advanced ones using different tools like forks and spoons, like, I mean, have there been any techniques that you've seen from any advanced people that like just made you think like, wow, how'd they do this with that? Like with something more unique type of style or, of sculpting or painting or whatever.
yeah. Um, I've seen someone create a a couple of different coffee cups using a spatula, and
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, like because really to get the results you want, you don't have to use that tool that you can buy from the art store. You can use anything that makes you feel like you're going to get the results you can use. Um, so I seen this one lady use a spatula because she said when you put the water on the outside to smooth it out, the spatula helps give you a sleeker finish. So you the further advanced you go, you'll see what different people do to get the results they want. Because I remember when I first started out, I remember my coffee cups was horrible. And then I started getting help from people telling me, don't use the tools, use this. I'm like, but the teacher said to use the tools. They was like, don't listen to them, don't listen to them. So it just depends on, how far advanced you are. But I always been good with my hands though, like always. I always like to build stuff, use my hands to do stuff. So if it's something that you already like to do, then you will be okay. It's just about learning. It's just about you learning the different techniques and things and practicing. That's all.
So is it kind of like the same type of way in painting as well?
Um, no, it's different.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's probably. I remember. I remember like probably like a couple of months ago when I talking to my best friend when I went to see him. Like he was so excited about this painting. He he had outlined with a laser.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, he was. I mean, he was really excited. He was like, I was like, he said, man, you see this painting? I did it with a laser, a laser, man. You know, he said, you know what I'm saying to me? Like, I mean, but he,
Yeah.
but he just did like, he had like a painting that he
Gosh.
already outlined, like, and made it a paint. I mean, he did it all with a laser. I think just like do little dots or something like that that
Mm.
turn into a painting.
Mhm.
I'm like, wow. It's like, I mean, like it's like even though I thought of, I'm like looking at it. Yeah, it's great. You know, I mean, because it's like, yeah, you do a laser, but I mean, I mean, he was just like, so you not more excited about this? Like, uh, I
Yeah.
was like,
Matter of fact,
"Nah."
the first thing I remember drawing was the Incredible Hulk. That was the
Hmm.
first thing I drew when I was a kid. I love the Incredible Hulk. Like that's the first thing that I had drawn. The Incredible Hulk and some other characters.
Okay.
I used to love comic books a lot, and I think I started getting into graphics when I was in high school too, but probably just a little bit like graphic design work. Because I mean, if
Yeah.
you're an artist, graphic design, learning how to do that, that's easy. Like, you know, anybody could. If you're an artist, you can graphic design is simple. So,
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. 'Cause I remember as a kid, like one of the first comic book heroes I ever read about was actually Black Panther. I didn't realize until like maybe like a month or two ago that like the comic book that I had as a kid, because I wanted when I was fishing with my dad, like we were at this event and they had like a contest like caught a fish, you can get you can get some comic books.
mm,
And the very first one I had was the very first one that Black Panther appeared in was in a Fantastic Four comic, and that
mm,
was like that was the very first time I saw him. I think that was like I think he appeared in the '60s. I didn't realize that was a '60s comic, but I read it and I'm just like thinking like, wow, you got this brother who's going here and just just saving the day, like I mean, yeah, you probably say like even though I found out later he was the first black superhero to ever appear in comics. I mean, it's kind of like yeah, kind of like that first black superhero I ever seen.
mm.
So so just to see that, that that like that kind of stuck with me, and like now people are kind of caught up on Black Panther when it came out. I think wasn't it last year or the year before that, whenever it came out. Now black people, everybody knows about Black Panther now. But like me, I've been kind of like been a Black Panther fan since I was a kid. Actually as a kid, I've been waiting those movies since I was a kid. I was like, it's okay, they finally did a Black Panther movie. I say, I said now now that's I gotta go see it. But I mean, a lot of people probably thought they were going to see the Black Panthers, and it was like, no, that's not Black Panther ain't that type of character, but it's a strong character. But but yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, and now thinking about it, your website, like, do you have any like, can you explain more about your website and like, what you have on it if people wanted to go through there and check it out? Okay. Oh dang, I guess she actually got kicked out. I guess we'll wait till she comes back. Okay, there she is. Okay, I think she cut out. So, but anybody have questions for her, type it in. Hayla, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but hey, sister, I'm doing an interview, so I guess when Rice come back on, like, if you got any questions for her, type them in the chat.
Hello? Oh, I
Yeah,
was,
but you got the camera on. I mean, unless you trying to be seen.
my phone went out because I plugged the charger in. I'm waiting on my new phone to come. That's why this phone is janky. When I plugged my charger in, it just went out. So
Okay.
yeah,
All
well,
right.
what was we talking about now? I'm sorry.
I was going on about like like Black Panther and everything, but then I asked about your website, like if anybody wants to go check it out, like what would you know,
Oh,
if anybody's interested in like explain more
my
about it.
website, guys, is riceaka.com. And I was supposed to be having an event this summer, but that's going to have to have to be pushed back. because I'm pregnant and I don't have the strength. I'm tired, and yeah, so it's gonna have to be pushed back. And one of the things that I wanted to start doing is, I mean, really, photography is just another thing because, like I said, Andy Warhol was an artist, but he was like more on the photography side. So one of the things I wanted to start doing, putting on my website, is a photography page. Um, yeah, um, I'm going for my master's degree, and one of the classes I had to take was photography, and I also I have a few different um, things that I haven't even put up there yet. So it's coming, man. It's just I haven't been able to do a lot. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay, okay. I got a question from the sister. I think name is Lanak Ra. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It said, "Do you use a 3D printer and computer?" Empress Rice. I'm interested.
3D printer.
Yeah.
Um, I don't use 3D printer, but um, are you okay? Are you talking about for graphic design? Because for my graphic work, or for prints. Oh, you're talking about for prints. Yeah, my mentor, she does a lot of different stuff. Like I want to be like her. She uses 3D printer because she does crochet, sculpturing, art, painting, and she uses that for her different prints. Um, or what have you. So I don't use it, but she uses it. I've seen her use it. For my graphic work, I told y'all I was working on a cartoon series, and like for graphic work, I use different things. I use Illustrator. Um, Illustrator is really handy. Some people use Adobe Photoshop. I don't see why. I don't see what for, but I like Illustrator. Um, and I have a drawing tablet. I have a Parblo 13 drawing tablet that I can use to, create different characters and things like that. But for the 3D printer, I've seen my mentor use it, and she uses it for different prints for her artwork, and it works for her. I really don't. I've never used it because I'm not really into prints yet. Um, but like I said, I've seen her use it before. She actually has her own museum, and that's probably why she has one, because she has to have one. And so she creates a lot of different books and things like that. She has a store in her museum, so she does have one so that she can produce uh, multiples of her work. Um, so yeah. Mm,
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She also said that she does crochet for fashion and she's into creative textiles.
yeah, that sounds like my mentor, she does crochet. She's like, I sew, but and I don't do the crocheting like she does, and I don't have a lot of that work on my website yet. But yeah, she does everything. She's a Renaissance woman. She does it all. Like I've sat there and watched her crochet many blankets, pillows, and all types of things. So yeah, yep.
Okay, and she has a question. So you would be good with creating pages for storybooks. Do you have YouTube or IG so I can sub?
Um, I have my Instagram is Rice, aka, um, and my YouTube channel is Rice. Rice is abstract art. Um, I don't know if I could put the link in here because I'm on my phone.
Yeah, yeah, I'm on it too. So I mean, I probably if I yeah, when the replay comes back on, I can just put it on my I can put it in the comment section so everybody make sure they follow her. So let's see, because I know she has said some other stuff. She said she took a class in fashion merchandising, and she said she's currently working on a crochet piece.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I
Oh,
like
she
to
said
hear.
she's an abstract artist too.
Huh?
She said she's an abstract artist as well. Oh,
Okay.
now I didn't mean to rush you, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I that art beats and eat thing. We have that here. That happens a couple of times a year. It's supposed to be this weekend, but I can't go again. But throughout the years, I've been to a lot of different events. I've been in competitions and all types of stuff. But I think right now the direction I'm headed in is just. At first, I was like, I want to collaborate with different artists, but I feel like it's unrealistic thinking because you don't know people's schedules, if they live in another state, things like that. And so, like, that was one of my goals to like collaborate with different artists around the world. But that's like a that's like a iffy thing. Like, you have to be able to get people at the right time, I guess. Um, so yeah, right now I think I'm headed in a direction to just focus on the things that I want to do, and if people are interested, then they can just hit me up. But I'm really not trying to do the collaborative thing anymore because it's like the timing has got to be right. um, any other questions?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think I have any right now, but I mean, I mean, it's getting close to the hour mark anyway, and I don't want to keep it too long anyway. So, any last words?
um, no, I mean, my last words would be to just, um, I do have something I want to say. Many, many years ago, this how I knew I had an influence on people because many, many years ago, about 10 years ago, I met someone in the industry and he was having problems. You know what I'm saying? And I was showing him some of my art and I was like, you should get into art, right? And he was like, I don't really do that. I just sing and dance. That's it. So I was like, telling you, you should get into art because it's therapeutic, this is that and the third. And then all of a sudden, that next following year, he started doing graffiti art and just doing all this type of art. And I was like, wow, look at you. And I was happy for that person. But then that person started making it seem like they was just doing it since they've been a kid. And I'm like, no, you haven't. But I understand that when you have a certain type of influence, on people around the world. You can make up anything, but my whole point is even mentioning this is to real artists. We don't do stuff like that. It's when it comes to our work. Either you've been doing it for a long time or you haven't. It's no in between. So you know, so my whole point is just a lot of us artists, real artists, um, we are the ones who are more into individuality and the leaders of the world, basically. Even science can be considered some type of form of art because one of my aunts, she's a science teacher, and I've seen her create a lot of different stuff with chemicals. So, so yeah, my final words is um, just to continue to do what you love to do and not really care about the thoughts of other people. Many people are going to critique your work, but it's really about what you like. It's not about what they like at the end of the day. So, thank you, Zero, for having me on here. Um, and um, that's it.
Okay. So yeah, yeah. Thank you for coming, David Rice. Tomorrow I'm gonna have a panel on the future of AI. So I mean, if you want to participate in that, just let me know. Uh,
Okay.
and like now you kind of made me think about like maybe I want to do an panel with some of the with you and maybe some of the subscribers who might be artists and and just discuss it even further. If it was down to it, I mean, even the sister that's in the chat that's talking, I mean, if she wants to be a part of it, I can probably set it up. I just I'll put my email in the description. If you're interested, just let me know.
Right.
I want to probably do it this week or not this week, but next week or the week after that one.
All right.
But but uh but yeah, like I said, I got this going, got a panel going tomorrow, and I don't know if I'll do another interview tomorrow, but look out for that. And yeah, panel will be 4 p.m. Central Time. So if you're East Coast, that'd be 5 o'clock. I guess Mountain Time that probably 2 o'clock, and if you're on the Pacific Coast, that'd be 1 o'clock, I think.
All right.
All right, so this is Zero heading out. I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll see you guys later.
Peace.